Hello, my name is Chris Lucas and this is my home city of Bath, the most beautiful city in the world. The pump rooms, the architecture, the Roman baths, they attract tourists from all over the world. And with its 18,000 students, they add a certain vibrancy to the city. And Bath is home to some of the country's best known companies. However, like everywhere else, Bath has its problems.
I cycle a lot and I find that it's actually quite dangerous. I mean, sometimes I've always been knocked off my bike and like being a student, you need to cycle and to get around. And traffic and the roads are quite busy, so it can be quite difficult.
One of the major problems, of course, is parking on roads and cars and things like that.
It can be quite an expensive city. As somebody that's lived here all my life, that can be quite frustrating. That it has wealthy aspects to it, but there's also a bit of inequality. People do struggle day to day, so that's a bit frustrating.
So as you've just heard, there are a number of challenges, but for me, it's our housing, our roads and our inequality that stands out. Last year, I chaired a public meeting in Weston about housing, and I heard firsthand just how serious the situation is. In Bath, house prices are 11 times average earnings. Rents are skyrocketing and there are 10,000 families on the waiting list for social housing. It's getting to the point where people on modest incomes can't afford to live in our city. We have far too many vehicles clogging up our streets. That means higher pollution, loss of productivity and parking problems. Funnily enough, not everyone in our city lives in one of these. In fact, the disparity between the rich and the poor is growing ever wider. The impact of this is felt most hardest amongst the most vulnerable, with children from low-income families struggling at school and elderly people struggling to make ends meet. It's all well and good talking about it, but what can we do about it? Well, in truth, there is no magic solution, but I have a vision. My vision for Bath is for Bath to be bolder, for Bath to be greener, and for Bath to be fairer. We should be the city of innovation. We should attract new businesses and new technologies to come to our city, employing local people and taking on apprenticeships. We need to do something about the number of vehicles on our roads. I believe our public transport should be more frequent and cheaper. We need to beef up our park and ride sites, and we need to make our city a haven for low-emission vehicles and cyclists. We must help those who cannot help themselves. We must provide fair and equal means to allow people to provide for their families. I want to be the voice for all Bathonians. It doesn't matter whether you're young, elderly, rich or poor. Bath deserves someone who will be their champion. Someone who will fight to ensure that they are heard at the highest levels of government. Someone who will be by their side through thick and through thin. I believe that I am that person. I believe that I have what it takes to be the true champion for Bath, Bath's biggest supporter. So please select me, Chris Lucas, as your choice to represent Bath in next year's general election.